Hi everyone, how y'all doing? If you can, type your name over there, let me know you're in. So just for equipment today, the only thing we'll need are some of your medium to heavy weights. So like 2 dumbbells would be perfect. Maybe a mat if you've got a hard floor. I'm gonna loosen us up a little. Throw a squat in there every once in a while. Make some big arm swings. Other side. Switch your order. So we're taking the tempo a little bit slower today. Hopefully Friday should have gotten your heart rate up. Got you some cardio. My little twist. 3, 4, 5, 6. Today's workout should be harder exercises for fewer repetitions and more breaks in between. Couple more squats. 1, 2, 3. Let's go down towards your toes. Stretch, get a little stretch in your hamstrings, maybe a little bit of a round to your back and get your low back stretched out. And push the opposite way for a back extension. And we'll do a couple more of those. Here's our 3. Good. Let's throw in some little alternating lunges in here. So down and back. Get those out of my way. And just switch feet every time you go to the next rep. 2, 3. 4. Let's go to 10. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's my 10. Let's go for a big stride out one direction. And then back the other way. Do a couple more of these, however many feels good. 6, 7, 8. All right, big march in place. Knees getting up nice and high. I'm gonna reach to my toes and just a little bit of a jump up top. Reach, jump, 2, 3, shoot your free throw, 4, a 3-pointer, 5, 6, 7, about 3 more. 8, 9. There's my 10. All right, so set of dumbbells. Maybe the edge of a couch or a countertop would be good for a modification on some of our push-ups today, or I'll show you a way to modify some of those. I'm gonna go ahead and break you right into the first set of squat jumps. So we're gonna go wide to narrow with our squat. And I'm looking for 12 repetitions. So just for demonstration, going out here and squatting down as low as I can and putting power down to get back up to that top spot. That'd be one cycle through. Ready, set, way down, pop up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and there's my 12. And I'll give you about 20 or 30 seconds break in between each of these sets. Next up, we've got a snatch. We're taking our dumbbell, wide feet, weight should be centered up with your center of mass. A little bend to your leg and kind of like a little bit of deadlift motion from behind. And we're gonna pop all the way up. I'm looking for 10 per side. Let's start with your non-dominant arm. For me, that's my left. Going for 10 reps. Ready? And up. 1, 2. Imagine you're throwing that weight through the ceiling. 4, 5, 6, 7. 3 more. 8, 9. And there's our 10. Let's give you a break between. I'll raise that up just a little. All right, dominant side next. Same stance, ready? Pop. 1, 2, keep rolling there. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. One more. And there's your 10. And the last one in my first grouping is going to be a clap push-up. So let's go from your knees. For most people on this one, we'll come up, clap, and then back down. If you can go from your feet, I want you to try. We're shooting for 10 repetitions. Are you ready? Set, and push. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And there's my 10. Do a little child's pose after that one. If you really struggled on that, just try to come up quick, but control yourself on the way down. You could also use like the edge of a couch here where you get a little more range to power from, or countertop back here, like your couch, countertop, coffee table. Take a breather for a minute here. All right. So we're gonna go back into the wide to narrow jump squat. Let's go for 12 repetitions. Starting narrow. Try to give me as much height as you can with each jump. 3, 2, 1, and up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 2 more. And there's our 12. Now once you get your breathing. As you're taking a break, another thing I'll explain with this lift, the snatch, is the weight should be in your heels. So it should never be up in your toes. And if you look at me from the side, I want to make sure that I'm not doing this. We were just doing the squats. So let's start with your hips back a little more. Should be able to wiggle your toes. And the power comes from the glutes and quads combined. Maybe some of that low back. All that momentum comes from the bottom of the lift. Are you ready? Set, and power up. Let's go for 10 more. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And there's our 10. If you've got a lighter weight, maybe go for a few more repetitions. All right, other side's getting ready. Feet slightly wider than shoulder width. Make sure that at any point on this one that we're not letting our back round. Shoulders are always back, chest is always out. Ready, set, and pop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And there's my 10. And now it should be a full body lift. You should feel a decent amount of hip and leg, maybe some low back, maybe a little bit of shoulder, a little core from just keeping your body in the right position, engaged. With our push-ups, I want you to focus on the breathing this second round through. So every time we push, I want you to give me a powerful breath out. So every time you do that push away from the floor or from the edge of the couch or counter. Let's go for 10 more repetitions. If you can give me a clap, let's go for them. 3, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's our 10. Same thing, let's sit back over your feet like we did that first round. All right, there are a few different ways to work on strength or power. And we worked on explosiveness with those first few exercises. The next few, we're going to be working on some pausing or holding. We're doing like a little isometric with each exercise. So if any exercise feels like it's too hard or too hard to hold that long with good form, come on up out of the repetition. So we're going to be starting with, we're going to do a lunge and a dumbbell curl. And this is one where I'm going to put some shoes on just because we're putting pressure down into your toe. And for some people, that pressure in the big toe on that back foot can be a little tough. All right. So for my visual, I'm going down into a lunge. I'm going to hold here, do my full curl, and then step back together. So make sure you get to the bottom of your lunge before you initiate the curl. Versus here, because then I'm not holding the lunge. So I'm looking for about 10 or 12 out of each side. I'm going to start with my dominant leg going backwards. 3, 2, 1. All the way to the bottom of the lunge, curl, and back up. 1. To the bottom of my lunge. 2. And make sure you finish your curl before you stand. 3. I'm not resting my knee on the floor. It's hovering right above the ground. 5, 6. Let's see if we can make 4 more cycles. 7, 8, 9. Go. There's my 10. Good. I'll give you a little recovery. And we'll do the same thing with your opposite side going back. So everybody's a little different with where their body's at. If you can't quite get as low, that's okay. So you've got some knees that give you some pain, or your mobility or strength's not quite there. That's okay. You go down as low as you can comfortably get and do that curl and back together. All right, let's get your weights ready. All right, this time my left leg is going back my non-dominant side. 3, 2, 1. Hold at the bottom. Left leg is going back my non-dominant side. 3, 2, 1. Hold at the bottom. Curl. And then back up. Make sure you finish your curl again before you start to stand. 2, 3, 4, shoulders back, chest out. 5, fight the urge to lean over that front leg. We want to be centered up between the two. 6, 7. We can make these last 3 with good form. 8, 9, and 1 more to finish this side out. There's my 10. All right, next up, we're doing a bench dip with a pause at the bottom. So the edge of your couch, some kind of stool, whatever you can find that'll work for you here. All right, so my hands go just outside my hips. I'm gonna walk out. The further my feet are away from me out here, the harder that would be. The closer I tuck them in, the easier this is. Another thing to keep in mind is, if you can see my hips are low back, try not to let them roll forward as we do this exercise. I want to keep them underneath my shoulders and close to the bench. We're going to pause at the bottom, so we're slowly lowering down. We're going to hold and then back up with no pause at the top. Okay, let's go for about 12 of these. In 3, 2, 1, slowly lower, pause, push up and right back down. Pause, 2, pause, 3 in, nice job. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, don't sit on the floor. 10, 2 more. 11, and there's our 12, good. Shake those arms a bit. Last one in the circuit is going to be starting from a plank position. And we're going to walk our feet backwards as far as you can with maintaining a neutral low back. So that looks like this. So here's my standard plank. I'm going to slowly start walking backwards. From there I hold. And then I'm going to bring it back up and pause here for my rest. If that's a little tough for you, we can go from maybe a high plank and just walk a little and then back up. So you don't have to walk too far back. Let's hold for about 5 to 10 seconds on each cycle, and I'm going to take you through 3 cycles of that one. So from a plank position, I'm going to go for my elbows or forearms. Still going to start walking backwards. Make sure your low back doesn't drop. If you feel low back pain, that's an indication to come back up towards your forearms. And walk back up for a little bit of a pause. Let's see who's got another one. Ready? And walk back. There's my 10 seconds. Back up over my arms for a break. And last one. Let's see who's got it. Ready? Set. And walk back. And walk back up over your arms, take a little breather. If you need to, for your back, let's sit back over your feet one more time. So one thing to practice on that exercise is if we get to the point where you're feeling stressed back here, you need to really focus on a good exercise to complement that would be to do these little posterior and anterior tilts with your hips. And when you hold a plank, I see a lot of people doing this, which means there's a sag there. You need to make sure that when we're doing a plank on the floor like that we're doing that opposite tilt. It's called a posterior tilt. So my glutes are squeezed and my abdomen is squeezed, and that's protecting my back. All right, let's go back into the lunge with a curl. If you're to be a little bit too hard, you do a lunge and then a curl at the top. So it'd be a lunge down and up, then give yourself a curl there. But let's try it back to the same first version. One leg's going back, curl, and back up top. Let's see if you can make 10 more for the second round through. 2, try to hover your knee just above the ground. 4, try not to give yourself too much break up top. 5, not to give yourself too much break up top. 5, 6, 7, and I'm gonna go for 3 more. 3, oh no, my banner. 2, 1 more and I'll fix it. All right, good. I had somebody say they thought that was an image I projected onto the TV. It's just a vinyl banner that I've got taped up there. All right. Next up, we're gonna do the same exercise, other leg. Again, make sure that we're not leaning over that front foot. Ready, set, down and hold, curl, and back together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's keep cruising. Hold steady. 6. You should feel that front leg maybe working a little bit more than the back one. 7. Both are working pretty hard. 9. And I'm in. 10. All right, let's get ourselves ready for the bench dips. So as we do those dips, try to make sure your fingers are pointing forward. I see some people want to roll them to the outside, and then just put your elbow and shoulder in a funky position. So fingers forward as we're doing those dips. Again, keep your body close to whatever you're dipping from. We're going to pause just off the floor. So I've got my hips kind of stuck back. 3, 2, 1. Slowly lower and hold. No pause up top. Hold. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's go to 12, 9, 10, 11. And there's my 12. If you need a stretch out for that one, reach for the middle of your back, right there, and then use your other hand to assist that arm in a stretch. As you exercise, sometimes those muscles fill up with blood. Give yourself a muscle pump. And they might feel a little tight or constricted. So don't worry, that's normal. All right, shaking your arms out a little bit. And I'm gonna go back into that plank with a little bit of a reverse walkout to it. So let's hold 5 to 10 seconds again out of each cycle. Let's see who can get it. All right, so standard plank. From here, we're gonna walk back, and I'm holding 10 seconds. Remember that what we talked about with our low back and hip position? There's my 10 seconds. Walk forward again a little. All right, let's go back again one more time. All right, and 10 seconds in. I want you to go back far enough where you start feeling a little bit of a shakiness. Last one. Ready, set, and go. And 10. Good. After that one, I'm going to do a few cat cows, so just back and forth with my low back. All right. So we're going to do a single leg bridge. And to do that, I'm going to use either a stability ball or the edge of my couch again here. I'm just going to use the edge of my couch, and I'm going to give you a little better visual here. So So if a single leg is too challenging for you, we can use both legs. I've got one foot kind of tucked in here. I don't want it too far out away from me. I'm going to sink my weight back in my shoulder blades with keep my hips just slightly off the floor. And with this other leg, I want to try to keep my knee pointing up. So try not to swing it as we come to the top. I want you to just drive through this side, and this one's just kind of out of the way. Okay? So I'm going to shoot for 10 out of each side. On number 10 at the top, I want you to pulse 5 times. So that means once we get to number 10, we're here. We're going to go 5, 4, 3, just a little pulse up top. Okay? Ready, set, take it up, and down for 1. Try to give me as much range of motion as you can. 2, 3. You should feel your glutes working more than your quad. 5, 6, 7. You should be pivoting on your shoulder blade area. 8, 9. One more. And we're going to pulse 5 times at the top. Ready? 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. And that should give you a pretty good burn to your glute back there. Maybe a little bit up here, a little bit in your hamstring, a little bit in the low back. Give you a break period here. Shake those muscles out. And we'll do the same count with the other side. If I've got a weaker side, I'll try to start with that one first. Just in case I only make 9 reps, then I'm only going to match that number on my strong side. Okay. Same thing with the other leg. Ready, drive to the top. 1, 2, 3. If you can tap the floor, just lightly tap down there. But don't rest. 7. I'm going to go 3 more reps and pulse to the top on that last one. 3, 2, and hold. Let's pulse for 5, 4, 3, 2. Got him. Nice work. Great stretch after that. Pull one leg across, hug it up towards your body, and we're stretching those muscles that we just hit. While we're taking our breather here, I'll demonstrate the next exercise. So we've got more push-ups, but these are diamond push-ups, or a close grip somewhere in here. And then when I do that, it's really focusing a lot more on my triceps, the back of my arms, versus my chest and anterior delts up here. So my hand position should be kind of like this or close to that. When I do these, I want to make sure when I lower down that I'm not using my head to lower down. I'm bringing my whole body towards the floor and pushing back up. If that's a bit challenging, let's go to the couch and do the same thing. So from here, hands close together, and I want you to focus on keeping your elbows tucked to your sides. And when I'm lowering, my hands should be hitting just below my chest as I do that push. So they shouldn't be up here by my chin or neck, okay? So let's go for 10 repetitions. As low as you can comfortably get, make sure your back doesn't drop, keep your core in tight. You ready, set, all the way down if you can. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. One more. All right, nice job. I'm going to bring you back up. You can see me here. And we've got a squat and upright row combination. So I've got a standard squat, or I might go with a little bit of a sumo position with my feet. That way when I hold my weights, I've got room for them down here. So, a sumo position with my feet. That way when I hold my weights, I've got room for them down here. So here's my squat, and then an upright row at the top. So we're gonna pause at the top of that upright row. So we'll take them out, we'll hold just a second, and then right back into that next one. Hold, and then back down. Let's go for 12 of these. I'll give you a second to get your weights, get your space. Kind of a wider stance here where you got room for your weights. If you just got a single weight, that's okay as well. You're ready. Nice slow squat. We're gonna pause at the top. Okay, back down, nice slow squat. Pause at the top. If you can get to the floor with your weights, just tap down there and go back up. 3. Make sure that you're not bending forward to get to the floor though. 5. You're using your legs, not your back. 6. 7. 8. Notice my elbows are a little higher than my hands. 9. Try not to have them in this position. 10. 2 left. 11. And there's my 12. All right. So we did bridges, we did diamond push-ups, then we'll go back into those. I'm gonna go back to my bridge view. All right, let's take a minute here. Get the right position. If you're on a stability ball, I'd encourage you to go back close to the wall. And if you are on a ball, make sure that the ball isn't rolling forwards and backwards as you do that exercise. It should be completely stable and your body's lifting and lowering. All right. So 10 reps, 5 pulses on the very last one. In 3, 2, 1. Okay, drive up, all the way down. Just tap the floor lightly if you can. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 3 more to go. Come on. 8, 9. And let's do some pulses here. Ready? Pulse. 2, 3, 4. Last one and 5. Good. And a little break, much deserved in between. So when we're doing these strength days, it's important to take a little bit of time in between exercises. And a lot of these we're doing like right leg and then left leg. That just gives your body enough time to recover in order to get optimal performance out of that next set. If you don't wait that long enough, your body won't perform up to where it's capable of. All right, foot in. Sink back into this one. Ready, set, and drive. 10 reps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Almost to those pulses. 9, and ready. Let's pulse. 1, 2, 3, 4. And there's my 5 pulses. Good. Yeah, we should feel those glutes working hard on that exercise. All right, back to diamond push-ups. If you do need to find your upright bench, or you can go from your knees on this one as well. I'm gonna go for 10 more repetitions. Give my body a little bit of recovery. Let's get a drink. All right, so on this one, if you can type in after you finish this set, how many repetitions you got, and if you did regular or modified, let's go for that. I'm gonna start you off. Right, if you're here, hands close. Remember your core's locked in. Ready? Good. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. One more. 10. Nice work. If that's an exercise, if you're not used to it, it can be very challenging. So I'd like to hear from you guys. How many reps did you get? I'll say 10 regular. I'll also give you a little chance to let your muscles rest up. Okay. All right, going back up to my squat and upright row. All right, wide stance. Ready? I'm gonna bring it down into a squat. Pause at the top of your upright row. 1, 2, 3, 12 reps. 7, 8, 9, 10. Almost there. 11. There's my 12. Good. All right. So I'm going to give you the option on the next one. We've got a wall squat hold, which I don't really have a great place to do that here. Maybe back in my hallway or something where I would just kind of find a spot. I'm sinking down into a squat against the wall and holding that position. So if you've got a good spot for that, that's one option. Your second option is a pistol squat. So one foot balances you, the other foot's out in front, and we're just going to squat as low as you can and then power back up to the top. If you'd like to use a bench or a couch, go for that. You can do a light touch down there and power back up to the top. So I'm going to go for those pistol squats, but if you want to do the wall squat hold, go ahead and hold and then let me know how long you make it for. I'm going to go 10 aside on these. Ready? And lower. Try not to rest. Push right back up from the bottom. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and there's our 10. All right, breather. Get ready to do a lap around your kitchen or wherever you're working out at, the garage. Let's see if we can make the same count on the other side. Okay. 3, 2, 1. Sometimes your balance can be the trickiest part of these. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, almost there. 7, 8, 9, last one. And there's my 10. Good. Let's walk those out a little. All right. So let's start wrapping things up. I'm going to go one more exercise on those pistol squats either side. That'll give you a few stretches to hit after we did those today. And especially these stretches would be great if you're sore in the next day or two to hit some of those target or key muscles that we were working on today. So we'll go 10 more reps out of each leg. I'm going to start with my weaker side, my left. Get my balance. Get ready. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Last one. There's your 10. Good, good. All right, one more set of those pistols, and then we'll be moving on. Strong side. Ready? And let's go last 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2 more. 9. And there's my 10. Woo! Welcome back. Hi, Andy. How are you doing? How we doing? All right. So, I'm going to take you down to the floor. All right. I'll give you the option. So we've got this one that we were hitting earlier, cross the leg over, pull it up towards you. Or we've got a pigeon pose, which is tucking one leg underneath, and then we're going to be working backwards down towards the floor. From a little better viewpoint here, good. And you play around a little with the position on this one, so roll your hip out, roll it back to where you're more squared up to the floor, whatever works best for you. it should be a great stretch for the glutes and deep hip extensors and that leg that's tucked underneath. Here. Hello. Love you too. All right, let's slowly switch. When I switch, I'm going to kick that leg back, shake it out a little, and do the same pose on the other leg. You can either stay up on the hands, you can bring yourself down to your forearms. Like I said, whatever feels best. All right. Normally, I'd recommend somebody holds somewhere between 1 to 2 minutes per stretch. Today, I'm going to run you through about 30 seconds out of each one, just so you get an idea of what to do. A standing quad stretch would be a good one. That's where we stand up and we pull that foot up. I'm going to give you an alternative here. What I like a little bit better is I'm going to tuck this leg underneath of me. And from a front view, I want to make sure that you're seeing that my leg isn't way out to the side. So I'm trying to bring it out kind of in front of my body or straight out in front of me here. My ankle is extended, pointing away from my shin or plantar flexed. Once I've got that position, I'm going to tighten my abdomen. And I'm slowly working backwards here to my opposite elbow. So if it's my right leg tucked under, my left elbow supports myself. I've got a drawn in abdomen. That's going to do that posterior tilt to my hips like we talked about earlier. And I should feel a really great stretch right here on the quads. If you're really flexible, you can get all the way down to the floor on both elbows or lay flat on your back. Go for that. Just make sure that your low back doesn't arch too high on that one. All right, same pull with the other side. So I'm tucking under. I'm slowly going to progress back into my opposite elbow. Holding steady from there. If you want to go a little bit lower, go for it. Hey, puppy. Hello. Okay. Let's hit your hamstrings. And to do that, we can either do a couple stretches here. So laying on your back, one foot goes up. We're going to give it a pull there. I'm not a big fan of this one, but if you like it, go for it. I prefer sitting upright, and I'm actually going to use the back of the couch as support for my back. That way I can relax into the stretch a little bit better. All I'm going to do is post up close to the wall as I can. I'm going to drive my knees towards the floor. And a lot of you will feel a stretch even just right here. So you're going to hold that position. If you need more of a stretch, then we can start to hinge forward at your waist. Make sure that we're not rounding your back to do this, that we're not in this position. We should have your shoulders packed and you're pulling your whole torso forward as you do that stretch. Try to keep your toes pointing straight up versus letting them angle out to the side there. And relax into it as best as you can. If you have a belt or a strap to rig up around your feet, it can also give you a little bit of an additional anchor to pry yourself forward. But again, make sure that we're not rounding and reaching as you do that. Another variation on this is you can take your feet out wider, do that same stretch, maybe get a little bit of adductor in there. All right. And the last one I'm going to have you work on is rotating through your torso. So we're starting on the floor. I'm going to pull my right knee towards me. Use my left hand to take it across my body.
Sorry.
There you go. There you go.
Come on, Andy.
And I should keep this opposite shoulder anchored. So like, for example, I've got a weight right here. That's a great way to keep that shoulder, upper body anchored in place. And I should feel this stretch in a combination of places outside of this hip, maybe a little bit in the low back, maybe through this chest and shoulder if you're tight here. All right, let's slowly switch it over. Last stretch here, opposite way. All right. All right, I'm gonna start wrapping things up there, guys. Thanks for joining me. Try to make sure you get those stretches in after you exercise. And I'll be back again on Wednesday for our full body and core exercises. So I'll look forward to you then. And until next time, thanks for joining me. Thanks, guys.